Well, hello, dear ones. Here we are in a new day, made all the better when we join together to experience the wonders of abiding in the grace of Jesus Christ. Welcome, one and all, to our midweek meditation. One announcement before we begin. There will be no midweek meditation this next Wednesday. Instead, next Wednesday is Ash Wednesday, so we will mark the beginning of Lent with a service at the church at 7 p.m. We will have more information on the service in Friday's e-news and on our website, bayumc.org. I hope you will join us for this very meaningful service. Now for today's meditation. We have just come to the end of another football season. Because of the pandemic, it was a season like none other, specifically because there were few or no fans in the stands. In seasons past, you would see players from the home team turn to the stands, lift up their arms, urging the crowd to get involved by cheering. Why? Well, obviously, the presence of the crowd, the support they give to the team, creates the potential for a momentum shift which can turn the fortunes of the team around. That, of course, was missing this year, and the players noticed it. Knowing that someone is rooting for you, urging you on, cheering for you, well, it inspires you to perform at your best. Dear friends, this is true not only in sports, but true for every challenge you face in life. Knowing that someone has your back, rooting for your success, urging you on, encouraging you in tough times, this is what compels you to excel. It inspires you to succeed. So let me ask, who is cheering you on? Who encourages you when times get tough? And in my mind, this is most important when it comes to your faith. Who is cheering you on? Do you have a cheering section when it comes to living for Jesus? Perhaps you're plagued by doubts. Is your zeal for God beginning to ebb? Are temptations getting you down? Is your commitment touch and go? What if you had a crowd behind you, urging you to succeed, cheering for your success? Would that make any difference in how you live your faith? Now, of course, they knew nothing of football in biblical times, but athletic events were nevertheless quite common and popular, and as such, they knew the power of having the crowd behind you and the difference that makes in whether you win or lose. Hebrews 11 recounts many of the heroes of faith who preceded the New Testament era, people who triumphed in faith despite impossible circumstances. In reference to these heroes, Hebrews 12 begins, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and the sin that clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us." Surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, it says. This is the reference to the heroes of the faith of the previous chapter, likening them to the crowd in the stands, cheering you on. Run the race set before us. There's the athletic reference, comparing our life in Christ as a contest or a challenge. Run with perseverance. That's what the crowd inspires us to do, because they cheer you on, inspiring you to succeed and never give up. The point is this: you don't live out your faith alone in an empty stadium before a non-existent crowd. Heaven is looking down and cheering for you to triumph. When you place aside your fear to do the right thing, the crowd of witnesses in heaven erupts with cheering. When you apply your faith in areas you never did before, the hosts of heaven shout out their encouragement. When your commitment to God expands, a roar of approval reverberates in glory. You do not live out your faith alone. The hosts of heaven see all that you do and encourage you to excel in your faith. But heaven is not your only cheering section. We get the same effect from the fellowship of believers. Your church is rooting for you to succeed in your faith. Your fellow parishioners encourage you to live your faith in amazing ways. When life becomes tiresome, when everything seems a chore, the joy you find in other believers can give you that momentum shift that can turn it all around for you. Not only that, but your fellow believers are counting on you for the same thing. We all need each other to encourage us to grow in our faith, to reach for new levels of faithfulness, to abide more deeply in Jesus. During this pandemic, we have missed many opportunities to encourage one another. Hopefully that will change in the near future. But in the meantime, we will continue to pull for and encourage each other. Just as heaven's cloud of witnesses is very real yet invisible, so is our support for each other very real, imminently tangible, though often out of sight. We are all cheering each other on. Dear ones, don't disappoint your cheering section. You are part of a team, not living your faith alone. So continue to do great things for God and each other. We are counting on you to grow in your faith, and we need your encouragement to do the same. That's today's meditation. I pray we will all take it to heart. Take care, dear ones, and we will see you soon.